don't. I forgot it.
Turn it on.
Good. How you doing?
She's got me jams and lights. I should return the favor. Don't look at me. Don't come to me first.
Right. Hello? Hello, are you there? Sorry, who's this? Oh, hey, Mo. I'm sorry. They told me, you know, I come in at 7, so they sent me here from home. No, I talked to Chase at around 6:30 in the morning.
Do you have to deliver it here? Great. And if not, let me know.
Oh, man. I know you're. Go for it.
Yeah, Dr. Practice.
Okay, no problem, man. He's not here. He's not here yet. All right, later.
Yeah, they told me
With a lot of net sounds and a lot of colors. Material, how many bridges, Although
yes, I did. start if we do. That's all I'm
Monica is she's Monica Michelle is the person who took her place so she went to Washington and she's leading an initiative Michelle Hayes took her place. So how can I help? Are you just here for the story? Sure. They'll be available. I mean, what are you trying to? Technically, you're trying to. Yeah. Those things. Yeah. Okay. Well, get what you need and let me know what you need. I mean, I don't know. I'm gonna say if you have a technical question, this gentleman in this sweater here can tell you what. Yeah. Do you have a question now?
Yeah, I actually do.
She's from California. She got a technical question.
Or maybe some closure.
You know what? You just need a $100. It's gonna be $100.
I've been, although I was in the high pressure. So we get us worked out. They were all 12:30, and they haven't taken us down. Now somebody here, he should have 45 minutes early. The president, 45 minutes early.
I've got so many notifications coming right now.
Especially with the automated weather alerts.
Yeah. One more is not going to hurt.
The media doesn't need automated thing.
One more. That should be the theme. If you're looking for a theme to take away from this, is that one more is not going to hurt.
Hello. Hey, I want to put this here. I want to see my logo. Hello. Can you hear me? Perfect. But hey, my shiny mic fixed. Thank you so much.
You're not gonna really see it. Never worry.
Now that I got it there, I want to make sure that you see it.
Over there. Oh, you got that reading problem?
Because it's obviously hot's better here.
I mean, didn't do the best I can.
Now, it may have been an inquisitive signal.
I can't hear you.
Going to cinema, film noir, turn the lights off and have them come in the doors. I assumed that. I haven't heard that, but he said that's definitely about law. I can't imagine there not. Where is he? I mean, no one's told me that, but everyone else is I'm aware.
Make sure that, there you go. You okay? All right. All right. Y'all here? Okay, we had a cameraman and the camera person team needed to get set up, so I wanted to make sure you're ready to go. You ready?
Yes, sir.
All right. HU. All right. We're going to start today's media briefing by discussing the City of Atlanta's plans and really sharing plans across the region that we've been made aware of this morning. All City of Atlanta government offices, including parks and recreation facilities and the municipal court, will close at 11 a.m. today. We have notified our employees of that, and the only exceptions will be that essential employees will remain at work, and the Joint Operations Center under our chief's command will remain open until we get through these winter conditions. We're coordinating closely with our school districts, both APS, DeKalb, and Fulton County, in terms of making sure that they have appropriate access and egress and any assistance that they need for their campuses. The Atlanta Public Schools will close early using a staggered release. Elementary schools will be sent home at 11 a.m. High school students will be dismissed at 12 p.m. I want to say that again. If you have a child who's in an elementary school in Atlanta, their school's going to close at 11 o'clock. If you have a high school student or middle school student, their schools are going to close at noon. So please start making preparations to get your children home as soon as possible. Middle school students, do need to make one correction, will be dismissed at 1 p.m. I don't know why they got to 1 p.m., but I'll trust the folks at APS. Urge everyone to check with their local news, as well as the public school website and social media feed to stay informed throughout the day. Fulton County government offices will also close early today. They will close at 1:30 p.m. Fulton County schools will close 2 hours early. Governor Deal announced this morning that all state government offices will close at noon today. More than 1 million people come into the city of Atlanta during every business day. So I'm asking all of our large employers to please dismiss their employees early, starting at 2 p.m. It's also very important for our employers in the city of Atlanta to please allow parents who may need to assist their children getting home from school to leave early so that they can be involved in that process as well. Once you're at home with your families, we really need you to stay at home. The Department of Public Works monitors weather and road conditions daily. Prior to any forecasted inclement weather, DPW determines and deploys the appropriate level of response. Today, the department has 30 crews prepared to work 12-hour rotational shifts on a 24-hour basis. We have 23 spreaders, 32 snowplows, 9 brine trucks, and 2 brine makers to deploy. We are also fully stocked with the equipment and with the resources we need to respond. In addition, in-house crews will have access to additional resources from other city and governmental agencies and contractors as needed. The City of Atlanta Department of Public Works and Parks and Recreation and the Mayor's Office of Constituent Services will use the old Adamsville Recreation Center for individuals who need shelter during this storm. So I want to emphasize that once again. The city's Office of Constituent Services and the Department of Parks and Recreation is going to make sure that the old Adamsville Recreation Center will be available for anyone who needs shelter. Our officers, our police officers and firefighters will also be moving throughout the city looking for those individuals who need shelter to offer them aid as well. Maintaining the safety and drivability of our roadways is imperative, especially for sustaining access to emergency facilities such as hospitals, police and fire stations, and emergency shelters. It's also essential to preserve a network of key pre-selected and prioritized routes that provide reasonable access to most city streets as quickly as possible. That will be the plan that we have laid out and will follow today. There is an ask that I need your help on, because I think that this is a moment where we can encourage people to join Notify ATL. In December 2015, the city launched Notify ATL, the emergency notification system for people who live, work in the city of Atlanta. This system allows the city to provide up-to-the-minute information about inclement weather preparation and response. I'm asking for your help in having anyone within the sound of my voice or who can see me, please go and sign up at www.atl.gov www.atlantaga.gov/notify-ATL. Once again, that's www.atlantagaga.gov/notify-ATL. This system is highly effective. I'm on it, and I received multiple notifications today. This will be the most effective way for us to communicate with you, whether you live in the city of Atlanta or commute into the city for work purposes over the next 24 to 48 hours as we make it through this crisis. One of the results that came out of the study we did following other weather events was that we needed a director of emergency management for the city of Atlanta. I am pleased today to introduce Rhea Aiken, the Director of Emergency Management Services for the City of Atlanta, to give you more insight into our plan before we take any questions. Rhea?
Thank you and good morning.
Good morning.
As you heard Mayor Reed say, there has been a number of agency coordination as it relates to this particular event. We've leveraged the lessons learned that we've experienced over the last several years, and what we've done is worked consistently with our partnering agencies to make sure that we're implementing things from the beginning of this event through what we intend to be the event finishing tomorrow evening. If there's anything that I can say, it's to implore to our constituents to please follow the direction and the guidance with your schools, with the state agencies, with the timing of the leveraged and staggered release dates so that you can get yourselves safely home. The primary reason for this, as you've heard, not only from our media partners, but also from the updates from our partnering agencies with National Weather Service and AFCEMA, we expect that in the metro Atlanta area, between the time frames of 3 and 6 p.m., that we will transition from rain to snow. That will be a critical point in our preparedness efforts to be sure that we have the roads clear to be able to treat the roads. We need to make sure that people are safely home so that we can move forward with that plan. Moving forward, I'm sure that you'll receive a number of notifications, whether that's through the media, through our partnering agencies, through social media. But to conclude, I really want to reinforce that for those of you who have not signed up for Notify ATL, please do so today. This will be one of our primary mechanisms of sharing what's going on within the city and throughout the surrounding areas that may impact you. As a matter of fact, over the next, I would say, hour to two, we'll go ahead and initiate those notification processes. One, just to reinforce, begin that transition, depending on what that looks like for your particular agency, for the private sector, to begin that to begin that transition back to your homes. Then as we move into the snow event that we anticipate moving into the evening, we'll make sure that we send out a notification as well. And if there are other critical things, you'll hear from us through Notify ATL throughout the evening. With that, if I could turn it over to Mayor Reed.
So I'm going to just briefly go through the essential information for today. At 11 a.m., the City of Atlanta will close. Between 11 a.m. and 1 p.m., the APS schools will close. Elementary schools will be first, high schools will be second, middle schools will be last. The state of Georgia is closing at 12 noon. So those are the plans for the governments within the City of Atlanta. We would like our private sector employers to allow their employees to leave at 2 p.m. For private sector employees who have children in the Atlanta public school system or in any school, please provide them with flexibility so that they can make sure that their kids are safe. The tough part of the next 24 hours really is going to be between 3 and 6 p.m. and that's when the rain is going to convert to snow, and we need access to the streets so that we can begin preparing them. what we've been going through over the last 8 to 10 hours is just the rain has made it very difficult for Public Works to get down the brine solution. And so we have to make sure that we time that correctly so that the road preparation sticks. And then finally, just to encourage everyone to go to Notify ATL so that we can be in constant contact with you and make sure that everybody stays safe during this weather event. With that, I'll take any questions that you have.
Mayor, the director talked about lessons learned, I guess, from 2 years ago. What is the biggest lesson learned, and how have we learned from that?
Well, you know, we've had 3 severe weather events since the storm of 2014. And I think the way that we've handled the 3 subsequent weather events has been markedly different. And the public's response to the way that we handle the events have been generally favorable. I think that that came as a result of the work of my senior team, many of whom were standing behind me. We commissioned a report. They made multiple recommendations. RIA's appointment was probably one of the most important recommendations that they made, that there should be someone thinking about emergency preparedness all of the time. We also invested $4 million in additional equipment under Mr. Mendoza's leadership so that we did not have to rely on outside contractors as much, and so that we had an internal capability. We also incorporated brine machines into the operation of the City of Atlanta, which candidly is not something that we did in the past because we did not have severe weather events that justified that spend. So we've changed all of these things. We've staffed up around emergency preparedness. We have a much greater level of communication between the large governments, and we have taken a staggered approach to getting people out of the City of Atlanta, because the city's population goes from about 450 people during the week to about 1.2 million when people are in the City of Atlanta for work. And so it is extremely important that when people leave, they not all leave at once. Let me say that again. It's extremely important. If you want to talk about the biggest lesson learned, in 2014 we had a mass exodus after we announced government closures. And that led to people being stuck on the streets and highways, and it prevented our public safety team from being able to move around the streets because they were blocked. And so the lesson that we are learning is that we, one, are making announcements much faster. The first communication I had was this morning at 8 a.m. I was on one of the local radio stations, and then came to visit with all of you, and we'll be communicating to people throughout the day, asking everybody just to be where you plan to be for the rest of the night by 4 o'clock. And so that's really our goal. And if we achieve that goal, I think we'll be able to get the city up and running very quickly, because we have the capability in partnership with the state of Georgia and in Fulton County and in DeKalb County to treat our streets so that, well, tomorrow's Saturday, so everybody won't have to go back to work. But hopefully we'll have some robust shopping on Saturday or something.
Mayor,
Yeah.
your colleague, Mayor Bowser in D.C. is getting hammered today for the city's response to dismiss one. You've been through kind of a similar experience a couple years ago. What advice would you have for handling or responding to the storm now?
You know what? I wouldn't offer any advice. I try not to give advice on situations that, you know, I wasn't the best at. Everybody has bad days. I don't know how many thousands of days I've been mayor, but out of them, you're going to have a bad one. Muriel Bowser is a terrific mayor. I know that she's experiencing some challenges right now, but what you do in government is when you have a bad day, you fix it. That's what people expect. They do not expect perfection. And so we had a very tough day in 2014, and what we have tried to do is fix it. And if you've looked at our responses subsequent to that, they have been significantly enhanced. And so my only comment to Muriel would be that just do what she did. You know, she acknowledged responsibility for it and started addressing it. But, you know, I generally comment on on things that I'm good at. And I try not to comment on things that I need people around me, which I did. Folks like Rhea, my command staff, Richard Mendoza, Dan Gordon. They're the ones at the end of the day who execute. We just have to make sure we have the resources to spend on these weather events because they are very, very expensive.
Can you be more specific about the collaboration and communication with the state to make sure the roads are drivable?
I'll be very specific. First of all, Rhea has been working on this for 3 days, 2 days. As soon as we started hearing about the potential for this, Dan Gordon, my COO, has been in constant contact with his counterpart at the state. We've been communicating about when we were going to announce our closures. We came to an agreement around staggering them. That's something in the past people were making their decisions independently. So there might be a Fulton County decision, an APS decision, a state decision, and an Atlanta decision. That's not the case today. And I think that that's led to a greater level of coordination. As I said, though, the hard part we have to work through is the rain and the flooding we've been experiencing because it interferes with the application of the solutions for the streets. But we're just going to stay at it.
What would you say to the people who argue that the city may be overreacting to a small winter event?
What I would say to them is that they should be in our shoes in 2014. You know, I'll take the story that said we overreacted versus the folks on the highways saying that we didn't do enough. So this is going to be one of the cases where an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure, and this is going to be the footing that we're on a permanent basis. And I think, for the most part, that's what the people of the city of Atlanta and the region want. They'd rather us over-prepare and take some shots for over-preparing from our media friends than under-prepare and get treated pretty roughly, appropriately so. Hey, thank you all so much. Please push notify ATL. Really appreciate your time.
People meet at 12 in the JLC to do our first reading.